welcome into today's episode. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Taha Butt, aka theBUTTshow, aka T, aka Simps for his mum, aka I don't have any AKAs left. But yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, like and subscribe. If you don't enjoy it, also like and subscribe. And also we need an Asian girl for a podcast soon. So if you want to come on the podcast and talk about Asian female things, then put it there. Our Instagram will be there and our Twitter will be there, hopefully, if I can do the editing. Anyway, enjoy the video.
For me, the GOAT, is going to be someone who's had the most impact on their sport and also on the people as well. That for me is the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
So social impacts.
Yeah, as well as, because you can't just be someone who's done a lot for the people and then actually your record or your achievements in the sport hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
For example, someone like Mane, he's an amazing player, but I wouldn't class him as a GOAT just because of the amazing work that he's done for his home country. But
because I feel like for the GOAT, you kind of need to be like the best at what you do, and then after that pushes you to be the GOAT of all sport.
Yeah,
that's the way I think of it. So it's like you would never put Mane there because he's not even the best football player.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put Hamza there because he's not even the best football player. You wouldn't even put Scott there because he's not the best.
If you reverse it, the reason why you'd say Floyd Mayweather probably isn't a GOAT is because even though he's probably got one of the best records ever in boxing, his social work isn't as. Do you know what I mean? But is that why he's not?
That's not even the reason. That's not even the reason why I think
I would put him in the conversation. I would.
I would. I'm just asking the
question.
I'm asking the question. Like what?
I did some research on this, and the reason why a lot of people didn't want to say Floyd Mayweather was the GOAT was because like the competition. Maybe this is just hate or maybe this is very biased, but they said like he chose a lot of his fights or like he was very lucky. I mean, if you look at the competition as well, I don't know too much about boxing, but like maybe like Manny Pacquiao. Well, which other boxers like compete against him?
I think that's wrong. I feel like Floyd Mayweather was in an era where yes, he leveled the competition. So there was Canelo that was there. But people say, oh, Canelo was young then, so that's why he lost against him, right?
Yeah.
But Canelo now is probably the best, literally pound for pound boxer right now in the world.
Yeah.
He was young then, but you need to remember that Floyd Mayweather wasn't the youngest as well, so he was ending his peak then. So it's like at the end of the day, if you put Floyd at his peak and Canelo at his peak, I still think Floyd would probably beat him.
Yeah.
You asked the question with Manny, that was still late in Floyd's career as well.
Yeah.
And he still beat him. So, and Manny Pacquiao was still fighting now.
But how many other boxers would be able to compete? As in like
Sugar Shane Mosley.
No, like at the time. Or was that
Sugar Shane Mosley is unbelievable.
Okay.
Unbelievable boxers. He like Floyd Mayweather, people actually the disrespect he gets put on his career is because of the lack of social work he's put. So people like to hate him. So
he's not very likable, is he?
He's not a likable guy. Everyone can admit that. But factually, mate, he's probably. Who cares? He was going through time.
No, but the thing is, right? If you think about if we go back to the GOAT of all sports, you got to think what is sports? Sports is something like is an activity that transcends gender, race, sexuality, all that. Like I was gonna say rubbish, all that sort of things, right? And Floyd Mayweather, he leveled up boxing. He brought so many more people to the sport, right? So you've got to give him praise for that because boxing was not in a bad place, but it was like quite low. And then he became one of 3 billionaires, like sports billionaires: Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Floyd Mayweather. And he created so much money off it. He created an undefeated record that people, I think, till the day we die, would not get to in boxing. No, and I think if you think of what sports is, he has to be in that conversation of like. I wouldn't put him as like my choice, but I would put him right at the very top.
Yeah, but exactly. I agree with that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the reason why people don't put him there. Like if you so like with who would you say yours? Like obviously we know, but you can.
There's only one man. There's only one. He floats like a butterfly. He stings like a bee. His name is Muhammad Ali. Man. There's only one.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So Muhammad Ali, they're in the same sport. So you can compare both.
Like the thing is, Taha would say Muhammad Ali was a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather, right?
No. So this is my thing. Like, I think that I would put Muhammad Ali as the greatest. Like, he is the GOAT. But I understand. Like, I think obviously he's not. Maybe he's not technically like the greatest boxer. Like, as in, like a prime Mike Tyson. Like against prime Muhammad Ali, I think would probably be him.
But then how can you say he's the GOAT of all sports if he's not even the
Okay,
GOAT of his
so-
only sports?
What-
I understand what he did socially, and the things that he did was like crazy. Like he got his belts ripped away because he said he wouldn't go to the Vietnam War and things like that. But if you're not even the GOAT of your own sport, how can you be the GOAT of all sports?
This is the thing. The impact he had on the sport, as well as the people, was huge. If we think about heavyweight fighters, okay, no one moves like him. The only person who I could think of who like a heavyweight fighter like that can dance around like Muhammad Ali, maybe he's like Tyson Fury, maybe like he can do a dance. Like you can't undermine, like he's so heavy, like a heavyweight fighting, and he's so light on his feet, he's so quick, he's an exceptional fighter. And that, along with the things that he did for the black community, you have to think as well at the time, the things that was going on, a black person can walk down certain roads. They weren't allowed to do that. They weren't allowed to dine at certain restaurants or bars and use some toilets.
He was heavily involved with the Nation of Islam as well.
Yeah,
he gave confidence to people. Like he gave confidence to
Can you imagine
community.
at that time where a black person can't walk down a certain road, and then you see a black person announcing to the rest of the world, "I'm the greatest." What sort of confidence? What sort of representation is that going to give?
I think Muhammad Ali was the first sportsman, which like maybe like in some ways makes him a GOAT. Was one of the first sportsmen to like evolve from skin being like a factor to not being a GOAT. Do you know what I mean? Because like after that, that's when MJ came. After that, that's when like Magic Johnson's came. After that, that's when like all these like Ronaldo, like do you know what I mean? Brazilian Ronaldo, R9s, all of them came through and Seedorf. That he set that level. And he set the precedent of like, it's not about skin color. And that's why I'm saying socially he probably would be, but as a sportsman, I don't think.
No, but the thing is, I can understand why you said that, because like I said before, the point of sports is that like it transcends everything. It transcends, like we can hate each other because like you might be black, I might be white, I might hate you, but we might still love like Michael Jordan because we can appreciate greatness. And you're talking about Tyson Fury, Muhammad Ali, the way that they move. So if you talk about like finesse and skill in a sport, then I think it's hard to look past Michael Jordan and Lionel Messi. Like obviously Muhammad Ali, he's the greatest of all time socially for a sports figure, using his power for good in the community. And obviously at that time it's easier because there was so much more prejudice at that time, and he did amazing things.
It's harder for that reason then.
It's easier to be like a better social figure because there was so much prejudice. You know what I mean? So like if you use your power for good, there's so much wrong in the world now, but then it was even more so. And like even now, like Cristiano Ronaldo back in the Palestine cause, which is like Palestine's not even on the map. Yeah, that's huge. Nobody talks about that, but that's huge. But like if you talk about true finesse and skill in a sport, like I would say Michael Jordan, Lionel Messi are above Muhammad Ali.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair statement. I'm talking about, and for the Muhammad Ali point, do you think in sports, he is the GOAT of his sports without the social, but like the...
Yeah, so this is the thing, because obviously he doesn't have the best record.
But I think that people need to understand that this was at the end of his tendency. It was like...
Didn't he lose his belt and then he got his belt back, right?
Yeah, but it was more... What was his disease?
Crohn's or something?
Crohn's, yeah.
No, because I remember he was in the 2012 Olympics and he had the...
he got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, so like that was one of he got hit heavily. Right. Wasn't he like fighting like blind even?
Yeah.
Blind.
There's a story of when he was fighting Sonny Liston.
Yeah.
And he couldn't see out of his eyes or something like that. So there's some sort of thing of was the other guy cheating? The thing is as well, so going to his record, like he didn't in his prime, he was banned from fighting. He got his license taken away from him for like 3 years, and that was because America was trying to draft him for the Vietnam War. And he refused to go. That was a massive thing in his prime. Can you imagine like Lionel Messi or like Michael Jordan in their prime saying, "No, I'm going to stand up for myself." And like for the
3 years is massive as well, especially in sport, especially in a sport where you.
And then he came back, and I think he lost to Joe Frazier, and then he had to I think he won like 10 fights after that, and then he got his like revenge. And the Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman, that was George Foreman. Crazy. Like George Foreman at the time, he was like this big beast, like the biggest batty knocking out like person, right? He could knock out like like anyone. He was a monster. And then Muhammad Ali just took him like 8 rounds. He did the rope-a-dope tactic where he just sat on the ropes and
And then he just took anything.
and tied him out. And then, so...
and wait, where was his last loss against? Was it Evander Holyfield that he lost his last one against?
I'm not sure, but I would say like he just fought for too long. He should have, just for health reasons.
What about Mike Tyson in that sport? Because in the conversation of boxing, it's always Mike Tyson, probably Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and possibly I think because we're kind of not in recent bias. I think Tyson Fury might go there. Because of what he's done for sport, and you can't literally deny like what he's done.
Because even now, like everyone gassed him up because like where he went from, where he came. So like, imagine if we were in Muhammad Ali's era, I feel like we would definitely say Muhammad Ali was the GOAT.
I think it's just the impact that he had on the sport and the people is so great that even the fighters, like Mike Tyson, gets so emotional talking about Muhammad Ali because like you can't. It's so hard to say he's not the GOAT because it's so emotional, what he's done.
For me, he's definitely a GOAT. But for me, I think there'd be an argument for better boxers than him.
Oh, definitely.
Like I'd say.
Who would your GOAT be? Like, it doesn't have to be a boxer, but who would your GOAT be?
Michael Jordan, MJ. I just feel like MJ, like he's different. He, like socially, even though I think the one premise of why people wouldn't call him the GOAT is because of what he didn't do off the pitch.
I think that's
no, but I know, but that's what people would say.
Yeah.
That's what they said, especially even while he was.
Look at the top you're wearing.
I know.
Socially. Look at the top you're wearing.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's such
but, like I'm saying socially, as in like when he had the opportunity to help the first black councillor.
Oh yeah, that guy in
North Carolina, and he literally refused. But his when he spoke on that, he said, "Well, I'm not going to help someone who I just don't know. I'm not going to just give free publicity. Not even free publicity, but it was like things like that. But also like, the certain like the conspiracy of trouble that he got into, and it was conspiracy. It wasn't factual. Like conspiracy of gambling and like haven't been too competitive to a point where like he was getting other people hurt. Like that conspiracy really stained his career massively. And him going into baseball as well in the sport of boxing, that I don't know, some people might look at it. I look at it as a positive that he went to another sport, was able to be competitive in that sport.
Michael Jordan
went
You went to baseball?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, he won a 3-peat and then he went to the Chicago White Sox or something.
Yeah, Chicago. Right.
Yeah.
And then what's it called?
He didn't do anything in that.
He was amateur, but the amateur baseball is such a high level as well.
They all take steroids as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, he was. They said
you, eh?
No, but the coach said that he would have made it.
Yeah, and I think right.
That was part of the narrative. I feel.
I think that whole a lot of obviously like a lot of things I know, a lot of things you know of Michael Jordan is from Last Dance, right? But you got to remember that Last Dance was commissioned by Michael Jordan. So there was such a everything he did was like, it's such a positive, right? But let me just say to you now why Michael Jordan is not the GOAT. I tried to give you Michael Jordan the GOAT, so then I could knock it down. Michael Jordan's not the GOAT because I would even say he's probably not even the GOAT in his own sport. Okay, so he, obviously his finals record was 6-0, right? Hall of Famers he faced 10. He didn't face any dynasties, not one single dynasty. Everyone's going on about the Detroit Pistons. Like that was literally in the. That wasn't even in the finals. That was literally just in like in the regular season that they had to defeat them. Like LeBron James, right, has had to defeat the. He had the Celtics dynasty in 2008. He's had the Golden State Warriors where he came back from 3-1 down. He came back from 3-1 down against Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. He came back from the dead. He carried that Cleveland team even when J.R. Smith was being a fucking idiot to get them down 3-1. I don't know if you've seen that game. It's so stupid. He came back to Cleveland. Like he left Cleveland, went to Miami Heat, and even the whole way that he like planned going to Miami Heat was absolutely like unreal, to be honest. And he was saying he was going to get like 6 rings. He only got 2 in the end. But like he had to fight like such high level basketball players, and he's become like he calls himself the king, but he literally is the king. If you look at the stats from rookie season,
I said it to
also for
Taha
50 seasons in a row. Like if Jordan didn't have to face anybody, he faced like shit. He faced 10 Hall of Famers. Right. Michael Jordan, LeBron James has faced 24. Let that settle in your mind.
I said this.
How can he be the GOAT of
I said this sports? I said this to Taha just before. There's a strong argument for LeBron being it, but LeBron will never win as many MVPs as Michael Jordan. And that point might be because you're saying there's 25.
No, I
24
think
Hall
he
of
was
Famers.
amazing. Don't get me wrong. He was
but-
unbelievable. Like if you
Yeah.
watch him, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
But LeBron
I'm
James
saying-
has had to do it
I'm
against
making the
harder opponents.
I'm making the argument. Yeah, but then that's like you can say that about most sports nowadays as well. Except other than football, I think you can say it for most sports nowadays.
No,
as
but
well.
it's
because today the level of athleticism is so much higher. Like back then, if you put the same athletes there, like people like Steph Curry, I don't think they would survive back then. Because Steph Curry, that's a point that's like very valuable. Even in football nowadays, the centre backs, which will be in the future, like nowadays, are going to be 5'11", faster, more than stronger.
Yeah.
Because that's what academy levels producing. So right today, when you say, oh, the level of athletes higher, that's not true, because if you put them on the level of athletes back then, most of these athletes probably wouldn't survive like physically as much as they would because of what they were doing, what they were allowed to do. Like these guys, like people like was it even Dennis Rodman, when you see what he was doing, he used to go night out and this and that, and then the next day he'd play for he'd play out a playoff. Do you know what I mean? This guy was like, you can't do that nowadays. Do you know what I mean? So of course the level of athleticism is going to be higher. Of course the level of competition is going to be higher. But that's why, like, even with Taha's point of Muhammad Ali, or like, you know, Floyd Mayweather, it's so hard to get like O on your record. Do you know what I mean? A 50-0 nowadays, because the level of competition, the level of physicality is so much higher. So that's why I feel like, yes, LeBron James is gonna always compete statistically.
But
Michael Jordan, but
he's
probably the only
guy.
He's the only guy. LeBron James is probably like the only guy who could probably do triple doubles for fun. Do you know what I mean? Like literally, factually, and that's why he is competition for. But that's also in GOATs. When you're comparing GOATs, you always need competition, right? And if you look at both what he's done on the pitch or on in and off the pitch, Michael Jordan's so innovative in sports. It's crazy. He was literally, he changed the world. Like people literally look at sports and they want to be Michael Jordan. He set the precedent of be a billionaire.
Yeah, like Allen Iverson. I think his Hall of Fame speech was like 60 minutes long. He spent two or 3 minutes, which is like 20% of his like crowning moment in his career talking about Michael Jordan.
There's but there's like Larry Bird, and there's also like, you know, Magic Johnson back then, and you say he wasn't competing with Hall of Famers, but these were one of the best back then as well. And I know he wasn't competing with them, like, you know, facing, but competing against them in eras. And I feel like if Michael Jordan was here today, he would literally compete with.
No, he obviously 100% he'd compete. But I would just say, and like, you have to like always have like, there's always a star on Michael Jordan's record. Not for his own fault. Obviously, he did crazy things like even for the black community, like he did crazy things. Obviously, he like made movies and stuff. He was making movies, and his work ethic was amazing. So like, if you've got to remember, like, what do you define as great? What do you want from sports? And if I had one greatest thing, if I had Ali or Michael Jordan, give that. But you always have to give a star of Michael Jordan, because like, it's hard to even say that he's like the GOAT of his own game.
No, it's not hard to say that.
I think it is.
No, I don't feel like it's hard to say it because.
Yeah, but that's from my opinion.
Other than
that's just a theory.
Other than your statement of like, you know, saying what was I going to say? Other than him just even being like the GOAT, when you look at what he done in his era, he is like, this is away from Last Dance. He used to compete like on the pitch with that one person, be like, that guy is mine. Do you know what I mean?
LeBron, everyone does that. Though.
No, they don't.
I feel like it's so easy to use that as a point, because
no, it's not
current
easy.
Players
it's not a point.
Current players aren't going to say that.
No, but it's not. Why?
Like LeBron James not going to come out and be like, oh yeah, like in the middle of a game, he's not going to be like, oh yeah, I had Klay Thompson. I had Klay Thompson on like on ice.
That's
never
going
to say that.
That's his personality.
Yeah.
Like it's not a point. It's his personality, and you can see his person. Like there's no, you know, even throughout that whole documentary, you could see that people are fond of him. Who are known as
like,
you know what I mean?
His counterparts.
Exactly.
He was shitter than him.
Nah, they weren't that bad. No, you can't even say that. Like,
I had to drop that one.
Nah, but they've got like, you know, Scottie Pippen would probably argue that he could argue that he is a better basketballer than Michael Jordan, but he would never would, because that respect of, you know, competition, that respect.
It would have no merit though. Like, even
what
if
you mean?
That, it would have no merit. Saying Scottie Pippen's better than Michael Jordan. That's
no, but I'm saying he could.
Yeah. Oh
himself.
yeah.
I'm not talking about
I guess
that.
Could. Yeah.
I'm not saying. I genuinely think Michael Jordan's better than Scottie Pippen, but I'm trying to say Scottie Pippen could say that. And he could say that he's good enough.
Yeah.
He's better and this and that. But, you know, a lot of people, even Magic Johnson admitted that, Michael Jordan was the better player.
But really, thing is, that whole Last Dance really, first time I watched it, I was like, because I didn't know much about Michael Jordan before Last Dance. When I watched it, I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is what greatness really is. But then when I look back at it and I look back at who commissioned it, he commissioned, he signed it off and was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then he was part of the editing. He had the sign off. He was like one of the executive producers, I think. He signed off the whole thing. So obviously, when they did the Class of '92 one, I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah,
they were all gassing up Nicky Butt. You had huge players be like, "Oh, Nicky Butt." I think Zinedine Zidane was like, "Oh, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, they're amazing." Obviously, my point is, after their careers, obviously everybody's going to give them their dues because obviously they did amazing things. But I think you always have a caveat of just Michael Jordan was great. Michael Jordan was great, but don't
Okay, look, the edit was his. We can always say that. There's always a narrative to anything you see. But I'm not basing it on just the Last Dance. I'm saying before Last Dance, we all knew Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We all knew.
Shoes,
we were all wearing Jordans. We're all wearing Nike tops, Jordan tops,
Mm.
and this and that. We're all wearing Jordan tracks.
It's mad how we were.
There's a reason why
we weren't born before. He's finished playing when we were born.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's still so influential in the world. And you can't tell me that's just because, the narrative is that he's the best.
Yeah.
He's got so many social points that are so against him, and yet he's so influential around the world. And I think that's a big statement that you need to put through.
But the whole point of his greatness is working hard. So then I would say that my GOAT, even though none of you asked me, which is kind of rude, I think.
What is your GOAT, Hamza?
Thanks, Taha. I thought nobody would ever ask. My GOAT for all sports is Cristiano Ronaldo, because of how his level of competitiveness and the level that he stayed at for such a long time, and the things he can do with his body and the talent he has, and it's just unbelievable. The thing is, socially, obviously, you don't hear as much about him. He doesn't have his own brands, he has his own brands, but it's not as influential as Michael Jordan. He's not helping socially like Muhammad Ali does, but he does still does a lot for a lot of different brands, charities, this sort of stuff. And I think he's creating a new level of athlete. So obviously social media, he's the biggest social media personality in the world. That shouldn't be the reason you're the GOAT of all sports. But it shows that every place you go to in the world, you can go to Kurdistan, to KV's house in the village, you go to Taha's village, you can go to my village, you can go to Saqif's village. Tell you right now, they all know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. Yeah. And I feel you can say that about a lot of other sports, but even the young kids, if you say to a young kid who's Michael Jordan, they might not know who he is.
Do you know because we're living in his era?
But that's what I'm saying. So, I think he's creating a new level of athlete, and that what Michael Jordan did was greatness, and he pushed up what an athlete was at his time. But I think now Ronaldo's pushing that even further. So in football, usually you stop playing at a high level of 31 max.
I think it's changing for everyone though.
I think Ronaldo's really pushing that in the sense that I could have easily said Messi, but the thing that changed me for Ronaldo is obviously obviously Messi worked hard, but Ronaldo went to different places and conquered wherever he went to. He obviously didn't win the Champions League last year with Juve, but he carried them in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. The meanest defense. Liverpool is one of the greatest teams the Premier League's ever seen. They could have penetrated that defense, but Ronaldo did 3 times with ease. He did it in 60 minutes. It's crazy. He's won 5 Champions Leagues. He won it 3 times. No team had ever done it twice in a row. As soon as he left Real Madrid, they didn't fall. Obviously, they're going to fall off because he's one of the greatest of all time. But you saw the decline and the incline in Juventus. It's absolutely crazy what he's done.
No, but you can manipulate stats to make him seem go. And that's with any of our points. But that's what I'm saying with the even with the athletic point. A lot of his. Factually, he's obviously going to be top 2. But
I think I'm Ronaldo over Messi.
Ronaldo. Really? As a footballer?
Yeah. I'll pure on the eye, you would say Messi only purely. I would say purely, if he was right-footed, you'd say Ronaldo. But because he's left-footed, it just looks so much more sexy. It looks like sexy football. But he's amazing. But I think if it's it's not like if he was on his right foot, he'd be rubbish. I'm just saying because he's on his left foot, it looks so much better. He's amazing.
My friends is wrong.
Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo is the GOAT.
No.
Ronaldo is the GOAT.
I know, but you're completely disregarding that.
No, I'm not disregarding Messi. I'm not
because he's got a left foot.
No,
you can pick Ronaldo, but not for that reason.
My point is. My point is, right, Lionel Messi, obviously he's great, and if anybody says he's better than Ronaldo, fair play. And you can argue that. That's a really good argument you can make. But for me, I wouldn't say that. But the thing is, if you're looking at footballer on the eye, any footballer that's left-footed looks better than a right-footed player at the same level. I'm not having anybody say anything
Why
different.
have you put the right foot? Why have you put the right foot player on the left side?
No, it's left foot. No, Iron Robin cutting in is better than, I don't know, like Riyad Mahrez cutting in is better than, I don't know, like Pulisic cutting in. Like,
I think that's
no,
your opinion.
Yeah.
So, do you see Pulisic's, the run that he made for what's it
What, the
called
goal
against? Was it against yesterday?
Yeah.
The goal against
No,
Liverpool
it's
yesterday.
yeah, but if that was a left foot, that would look. If Messi scored that, that would look way better than if Pulisic scored it.
No,
Why? Because he's purely left
Pulisic
footed.
doesn't score it. That's why.
No,
Out
if he
of all
scored
the
that goal-
reasons, out of
No.
all the reasons, you
Yeah,
could have
that's
picked.
we.
Not,
No.
don't,
I accept
that's not
your
why I'm choosing.
argument.
That's not why I'm choosing Ronaldo over Messi. But I'm just saying
that is.
that's what Messi.
No, but that does not disregard Messi.
Messi looks.
Hamza's
but
got
you're
a
saying
thing
he's
for
better.
right foot.
No. I've got a thing for left foot people. But the thing is, like, I see Ronaldo's talent and all that stuff, and he's right footed as well. Like, you have everything and you're right
Look,
footed.
this is the argument.
But Messi could do it on both feet. So
yeah,
it's-
that's what I was gonna say.
Nah, like I'm Ronaldo. Like I am Ronaldo. But the argument I would make is if you put both of them on a pitch, on a 5-a-side pitch, both of them are playing with each other, I probably would say Messi with the football, with the ball at his feet, he will win. But Ronaldo,
if we're doing pure footballer, I would say Neymar's second best in the world. Like pure, just like watching them. Like what's the easiest on the eye? Neymar
It's
and
not
Messi.
different then.
I would say
It's
like,
not different because if you're talking about that's more of like entertainment side.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're looking easy on the eye, if you said Hamza, you can go anywhere in the world, you can watch one team. I'd say Barcelona 2015-16 because I see Messi and Neymar.
Yeah.
On the same
but then
team.
you're disregarding the stats
just like
of Messi.
Just like a pure. No. I'm saying Messi's amazing, but like I'm saying, my point is
he's got
easy on the eye.
So
like,
no, but
proper easy on the eye.
the reason
I'm
why
talking about
Messi's name GOAT isn't because of
No,
his
obviously,
entertainment. It's
obviously.
because no, I know you're saying that, but I'm just saying his stats back
in the season.
his
in a
stats
calendar,
exactly.
yeah.
His stats back him up as like the GOAT.
Yeah.
It's not just because he's nice to watch and this and that. Like factually, if you put him like he would run the show.
He runs the show anywhere.
He runs the show.
Like he'll be like, do you know when Louis van Gaal put Rooney at centre mid?
Yeah.
Like, and he did shit. You put Messi at centre mid, he'd do bits.
He can play, and he can have 3 defenders on him. And
They're one of the few reasons why like they're like direct comparisons that you could make. There are times where you can make direct comparisons. But I feel like the one thing that does not go in Messi's favour is first international football.
I think that's such an overrated
it's an
point.
overrated point.
Such an overrated
No, but
it is a skill point.
It's a point.
Yeah.
It's a point. It's a big point because at the end of the day, you can't tell me Ronaldo's Portugal team that won Euros was better than Messi's Argentinian team.
But
I saw a tweet.
Who did they have on?
No, man like debatable football opinions. He put a post out where it's like he had a list of Argentinians that Ronaldo's played with and being like, oh, Ronaldo's played better with the Argentinian players than Messi has. And I was like, that's so true.
Yeah,
he just makes them so much better.
Not full of a team though of Argentina.
Yeah. No, because he's played with so many Argentinians. He's played with Dybala, he played with Higuain, he played with I can't remember what this.
Yeah, but not like a full team, not the defense. Like who did they have in?
Yeah, the defense. Romero's all right.
Colchini.
Yeah, he was actually making the national team. That's crazy.
I know.
But like Messi did carry that.
They
team.
played Lefesi and left back.
Because actually,
you know, with when Portugal won, didn't Ronaldo get injured as well? Early on in the game, and then it was someone else that scored the.
Eder, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like you can't. No, but you can't ever tell me. You can't ever tell me that team was better than any of the Argent. Like it would probably be equal, but it's definitely not better. I wouldn't. It's like it's hard to say it was better. It wasn't even the best team in the Euros that year. It was just that they had that work ethic. That they had the system that worked.
Yeah,
I think that
international football is so different as well.
Yeah, it's different.
That's like
and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
well.
it doesn't weaken the argument that Messi couldn't do it with his with the team that he had because factually he probably had one of the best players in the world attacking wise, and like a lot of defenses are crap, and they still win trophies and this and that.
No, but I think that international point is used.
It's used
against,
because it's
against Messi because then you can compare them to Pele, Maradona, Cruyff. Like that's why it's used.
Would you guys say Pele or Maradona would come close to like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi?
I think it's hard. I think
it's hard because I never want like all you ever see is like glory moments. You don't hear like the bad things that happened in their career. You hear about the bad things that Messi's doing. You hear the bad things Ronaldo. So the only bad thing you hear about Messi, Maradona, he did drugs. Okay, does he become the GOAT? Like that doesn't affect him really.
As well.
And then Pele is just like, oh, he made up stats. Like those are the only 2 bad things. But with Messi and Ronaldo, you can always talk about the bad things they did. I remember when people were like, oh, he's not the GOAT because he started following. People literally said this in 2016. He followed Chelsea on Twitter, and then there was on Instagram, and then there was like big rumors that he was going to move to Chelsea, and then Messi, because people were making rumors because he followed them on Instagram, and then people were like, oh, he's not going to be the GOAT if he moves away because that'll ruin his legacy. This is him at like 29, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? He's not the GOAT because he moved. Like people were saying that was a bad thing. When I heard that, I was just like,
to cement his position as a great, you always have to change. Because
but he's thinking of his legacy. I don't think he'll move now.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Messi to Juventus, that would be a big one.
It's similar to Michael Jordan's point, where like, you know, LeBron's been able to go to different places and still be the best player on that.
Yeah, he's like the Ronaldo. Yeah,
exactly. I don't even think it's that. I think if the Barcelona team were like there was a youthful team and there was like promising future and they were actually really good and they had a good management, I think Messi should stay there. But you can see like the decline. Like everyone's getting older. They swapped out Pjanic and Arthur.
Who are Madrid? Who are Barcelona going to become?
What do you mean?
The AC Milan.
Oh yeah. I said this to Hamza. They're going to become the next AC Milan if they don't like start investing.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's genuinely a good point. But like
Lamar's doing it.
But it should.
Failing.
No, but do you not think like Messi's obviously still got it as a GOAT? He's obviously still got it.
Yeah.
Like, even though there might be some decline, but he's never relied on like purely pace. His technical ability is always gonna like outweigh his pace, his physicality, anything like that. So at the end of the day, I think the whole issue of Ronaldo's done it in several leagues compared to Messi will always it'll always outweigh the fact outweigh any of the facts because it's easy to do.
Because it's like a risk reward thing. Yeah. Because it's like I shouldn't say Messi was a pussy and he didn't move because he didn't want the risk, but like. I would say Ronaldo risked everything by moving from a great Manchester United team to a Madrid team, and moving from a great Madrid team to a Juventus team. Like he changed it up, and the risk is that like you can go there and fail, and people will demean what you did at Man United and demean what you did at Real Madrid because you failed at Juventus. But he's never failed. That's and quickest to 50 goals.
Exactly. And I think another thing is that like with Messi, it's like an argument would be that I don't think he's trying to be the GOAT.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't feel like he's trying to be the GOAT.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like Ronaldo's competition is to be the best of all time, and you can see that.
I love. That's why I chose him because I love that. Yeah. That's why I love Michael Jordan because I love that sort of mindset. That mindset is mad.
But I don't think Messi's thought is to be the best.
Yeah,
I think Messi's thought is to be I don't even think he cares about winning trophies in this. I think it's just really enjoy football. Obviously, everyone has that innate nature of competition.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's competing between like, you know, when Messi and Ronaldo used to play, I don't think Messi was competing with Ronaldo, but I definitely think Ronaldo was competing with Messi.
No, I don't think so. I feel like they both pushed each other.
Yeah, they pushed each other. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't think Messi was just like, oh, this is just this guy. He's just competing with me all the time. Like, I feel like
but while he was there, Messi was winning all the Ballon d'Ors.
Now, he won between like 2009 to 2012, and then like Ronaldo bounced like this. But Ronaldo's narrative. He bounced back and he won like 4 in a row.
Yes.
Like I remember when Messi won one in 2016. I remember watching a Spencer SC video and it was like, "Oh, Ronaldo will never get as many Ballon d'Ors," and he caught up with him. Like Ronaldo, literally, because everyone's like, "Oh, he's too old now. He's 30." The Ronaldo's like, "Fuck that. Age is just a number."
You know how
let me just win 2 more Champions League and tell people.
You know that how there isn't a Ballon d'Or this year. Me and Kate were talking before because there isn't a Ballon d'Or this year. Who would you have given it to?
Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, that's what I would have given it to. Yeah. Lewandowski easily. Yeah. He's got like 51 goals in all comps now. Crazy.
I don't know why is it cancelled?
I don't understand that
because haven't some leagues been cancelled as well? Isn't the French league been cancelled? So you can't.
So it's such a fraudery against like. Yeah. So there's already been the whole 2019's finished.
Because I genuinely
and also
wait, what's it for? It's for the whole 2020 year.
Even you could say like with the break, that's impacted a lot of it. Like Leicester, they've sort of declined after.
Yeah, but Lewandowski would have won it. I just don't.
No, Jamie Vardy could have had a good.
Really?
Honestly, for a second, but let's take it back to the GOAT. Let's have a little round robin of like who's the best out of. So mine's Cristiano Ronaldo, yours Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali. Yeah. Let's make arguments for being better than the other one. Let's forget about Messi, LeBron, or the other people.
What are you gonna
we need to come to a decision who's the GOAT.
The most known man. Like
no, to be honest, I accept for each of their sports. I would say Ronaldo, football, 100%. I would say Muhammad Ali, boxing, 100%. And I would accept Michael Jordan for basketball, 100%. But everyone's got an argument.
Why is Michael Jordan, from your point of view, why is Michael Jordan better than Muhammad Ali or Cristiano Ronaldo? Make an argument for that.
See, the only thing you can argue is socially.
Yeah.
Because socially, I wouldn't admit Michael Jordan's strong and better, but I feel like as an influencer on the world, he is.
No, bro, Muhammad Ali was the most talked about.
Shit, I was like, this is my chance to win.
No, honestly, like in terms of influence, even like, can you imagine? Like, I know it's hard at this time because that's actually quite a long time ago, but you know, even now, actually, so many people are inspired by Muhammad Ali. A lot of the boxers and the fighters we see today, they will say like we got into it because of Muhammad Ali, because we saw the fights like he had.
That's cool to say that about Michael Jordan as well.
The rumble in the jungle, the fight of the century against Joe Frazier, like these were seen. Even my dad, my dad has no interest in like anything like that. Even he saw it in Pakistan, like the villages in Pakistan. Everyone saw it. The whole world saw it. Like if you want to talk about influence, like on the world,
I mean, like influence. So for me, like. I probably didn't say it like socially. Socially, I mean, Muhammad Ali, but I mean like influence as in like influence in culture, influence in like.
I would even still say Muhammad Ali. Yeah,
fair enough. Like, because I would say
he was the
influence,
people's champ.
Like not influence in like for me, not influence on like society, because obviously Muhammad Ali, there's no competition. He changed like society for the better, like for a better need, like so like. Especially with race and this and that. But influence in like just culture, I feel like Michael Jordan's hard to compete with. Even today, like you're seeing Air Jordans go for crazy prices. You're seeing like Air Jordans, everyone's wearing Jordans. Like Michael Jordan
PSG.
Today. Exactly. Michael Jordan's got such an influence on other sports as well.
Like he has the respect. He has the respect of. I'm not saying Muhammad Ali doesn't, but like he has the respect of anybody.
Yeah.
Like anybody sees him is like shit. I don't care that you're black. I might be racist. I don't care if you're black, but like I appreciate the greatness. Yeah. That's what I think is crazy about Michael Jordan. Exactly. But the thing is, what I would say about Cristiano Ronaldo, that I would say he's better than Muhammad Ali and he's better than Michael Jordan. You've got to think.
He's right forward.
What is your? And that's the end of the. No, like the way I would think about it is, what is sports about? What is sports about? Sports is about entertaining people, like showing them like that you can, with athletic ability, you can do anything that you want in your life, and showing that like proving through sports that like work ethic can get you anywhere. And I think Ronaldo ticks the boxes for every single one.
What Muhammad Ali does. That's exactly what MJ does.
But I think Ronaldo takes it to a absolutely like you could argue Michael Jordan does, but like. Ronaldo takes it to another level. Like he, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never left. Michael Jordan never left. He didn't. He was like Messi. He didn't want to risk it all. The only thing left was for baseball. But then he came back and he won a 3-peat, right? Which is like amazing in itself. But I would say Ronaldo, the fact that he won 3 Champions League in a row. He won a Champions League at Man United. He carried that club. He lost the final, which was just bullshit, really.
I feel like you know basketball, and it's a different kind of sport. No. Okay, because
and Ronaldo's influence on culture. That's what I was going to go on. Okay. Ronaldo's influence on culture, like the next generation of sports players. It's hard to say now because they're not there yet. But the next generation. So now the generation saying Ronaldinho, they're at the 2005 stage. In the next 5 years, players like the young players that will come up will be like, Ronaldo was my inspiration. Ronaldo made me this great. Ronaldo pushed me to work hard. Ronaldo pushed football standards, which are this high, pushed it to that high. And they're going to stay there because everybody who's watching Ronaldo play is like, shit, I want to be like Ronaldo. And to be like Ronaldo, you can't be here. You have to be up here. And he's pushing the level of a whole sport, the biggest sport in the world. He's pushing that level right to the very, very top. Did Michael Jordan do that? Yeah, he did. But I think Ronaldo is doing that to a crazy level. And now, when you talk about athleticism being a huge thing, Ronaldo is taking that to the very, very, very top.
What's bigger as well, basketball or football?
Like, well, obviously football is the world's sport.
So then, like, if you want to talk about influence on culture, then I would.
Like it's easy.
You can sell anything, man.
Yeah, like he literally, and that's why he's got so many brands. Like, I'm not even going to touch on the brands because, like, that's not solely what he's about. Like the influence he's having on the biggest sport in the world. Messi doesn't have that. When you watch Messi, you appreciate greatness. You don't think I want to be that. Obviously, you want to be that level, but you don't go, "Oh, he's inspired me to get that level." You just watch it, you just appreciate it.
I still think he's a better footballer, but if
like Ronaldo is just pushing it to another level. That's what I'd say. He's better than Muhammad Ali. I'm better than Michael Jordan. But if you're looking at purely from like what you can do off the sport, then Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I would say off the sport, Muhammad Ali definitely. But I feel like
if you want a sport only, Cristiano Ronaldo. That's what I'd say.
He's so good at like selling, isn't it? So persuasive.
He's not persuading me.
That's what I wanted to
I've gone like
say.
back and forth. I've just been listening. Wow. Hamza.
So who would you choose that? Right now. I have a gun to your head.
What, as the goat?
Yeah.
Well, I still have to.
Oh,
Like,
bloody hell.
No.
Are you ever going to change?
I can't change because like he's just the greatest. Like,
Yeah.
As in I can't.
Nah, but at the end of the day, all three sportsmen you can accept as the GOAT in the individual field. Like anyone can make an argument for anyone being the GOAT of all sports. It's like it's a unmetric kind of like you can't even.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the most subjective thing.
Because it's like, how do you measure one guy to another? If it's the argument was Messi,
We didn't
Ronaldo,
even honestly we didn't talk about other sports even. Like we were before this podcast, we were talking to Taha like a little about American football. Because I was going to talk about Tom Brady. He went from being the 199th pick in a draft to being the greatest American football player of all time. And like I would say, American sports, the merit for Michael Jordan, is that American sports, the level is so high. Yeah. Like you have to be the very, very best because there's not that many players. Like I think in the NBA there's only like 200.
Yeah, that was my point.
In professional football, like Jamie Vardy was playing in non-league where there's like thousands of players, and then you can build.
Yeah, but that was my point where you made, when you said Ronaldo was going to be like the reason Michael Jordan hasn't moved like teams and this and that. And with basketball and things like the NFL, it's different. Like compared to,
but you can still move. LeBron James.
No, proved that. I know you can move. No one's saying that, but you're always facing the same elite standards of superstar. But Messi, the reason why his argument is that if Messi stayed in the Premier League all his life, it's fair enough to make that argument because the Premier League is probably the hardest league in the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's because he's staying at a less difficult league.
I can't accept that argument.
No, because you're saying La Liga,
No, I can't accept that argument because Messi's so good. Yeah. You can't say, because he hasn't played against Ryan Shawcross's shit. I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm not saying that. But people who are like, he hasn't moved to the Premier League, I can't accept that argument.
No one's saying that. Yeah. I think the argument is that. No, but I think the argument they're trying to put out, and they might be saying it wrong, is that because he hasn't played in other elite leagues, other elite leagues, it stops him. But with Michael Jordan, he's always been on an elite level, and he retired as an elite player. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
you mean?
He went to the Washington Wizards and he was shit.
I know, but I mean, he was.
Like the part of being great is like stopping.
No, but I'm saying
it's like what's the quote that I said the other day? Like you see yourself you die as a hero. You see yourself. You live long enough to become the villain. Like that's what Michael Jordan did. Now that ruined it a little bit for me.
No, but I know, but it's also like loads of points of his career you could say ruined him, but he's always still maintained. Michael Jordan as a massive brand. As Michael Jordan as a GOAT. Michael Jordan as in after 2000, we still knew about him. Yeah, so, I mean that's what.
As brands, I think. Would you say Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Cristiano Ronaldo are the three biggest sports stars of all time?
Yeah.
Would you say
known, I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
You'd accept.
I think maybe Roger Federer. Like
no.
Like we were
because
we were going to talk about Serena Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say Serena Williams, but the thing is, at the end of the day. When we're doing the measure, it's like tennis.
Quickly, who would your honourable mentions be before we close?
Okay, who would you say for UFC?
Oh, UFC. Wow.
Don't say Khabib. Khabib would after a couple of things.
Oh,
Nate Diaz?
This is all different.
Nate Diaz?
Jose Aldo?
Why? Why are you naming people that wouldn't be
it?
Wait, would you wrong answers?
Oh no,
is it wrong answers?
Wrong answers early.
Oh, UFC. A lot of people want to say John Jones. I just don't like him.
I don't like John Jones.
Is he that black guy?
Yeah,
there's a lot of black guys.
No, but he's a big black guy. Everyone knows that.
No, black.
No, the reason I watched this thing where it was like the reason why players like Dennis Rodman and John Jones the reason why they're not always seen as like GOATs in their field is because it's like they never had that work ethic and they never used to have that how the drive to be the best because
they're just great players.
That's John Jones as well. He doesn't really have that drive to be the best. He just is the best naturally, and that's why people call him a GOAT because he's literally he's like drugged up half the time. And no, he's not, but he drinks a lot.
He tested positive for a lot of this fight. I don't know if that was from cocaine from buying or cocaine to.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No enhancers.
I think it was performance enhancing.
I think there was one against.
I think cocaine is counted as a performance enhancing drug as well. Is it? Yeah, I think so.
So how? No, but he done that like 48 hours before though, didn't he? Or something. He didn't do it to enhance him on that sport.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like a.
But then you don't know the guy's intentions as well, like exactly. Whether to
No, but I feel like the reason why John Jones doesn't get it, and the reason why people like that don't get it, is because they haven't got that work ethic. But I also watched this thing, Chael Sonnen put up, and it was, there was a, horse racing. He obviously done that. I think it was North Carolina that he used to do it in. And what's it called? There was a horse who was like rapid, right? And and then he got sold. But the horse trainer, the horse trainer, he couldn't train him to still be as fast as he was, right? So there was this famous horse buyer. His name's Tex Werner. He bought it back, and then he basically used to own the horse before he sold it. He bought it back, and then he trained him, and that same horse won like 5 championships in a row, right? Which is crazy. It was like the record. And when someone asked Tex Werner, how did you train the horse? He said, you don't train it, you just walk it.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Like that's what made that horse the go of like his sport, like horse's sport, because like all you have to some players you don't need to train. Some people don't really need any of that, but they can still be goats.
No.
Like I feel like John Jones can still like be a goat.
He did a lot of training. Horses and people.
That was honestly.
No, it
Can't
works.
lie, I lost track there. You went like around the world and then started talking about the horse being the goat. I was like, what the?
No, because the horse. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't need to train a horse because horse
Ronaldo.
training.
The whole thing with Michael Jordan was he trained so much. Like I think humans and horses. I don't even know about that point. Like
because horses need to be trained. Like
he's still probably trained it. He's still probably like.
All he did is walk it.
So is your honourable mention John Jones then?
No, it's the horse.
I think for me, that's a horse as well. No, but for me, it would be for UFC. It'd be Henry Cejudo.
No, but for all sports,
Cejudo.
who would be your like honourable mentions?
Yeah, like I know, but it's like hard to all sports. There is no honourable mentions other than 3 that we've said. Do you know what I mean?
No, because I think honourable mention for me would be like Tiger Woods, Floyd Mayweather.
True. I wouldn't put Mike Tyson in ever.
Really?
Bro, he was only there he was at his peak for like two years max, from 20 to 22, and that's it.
Lionel Messi.
He's probably the most impact. He had the hardest impact on a sport because he literally smashed it, and then after that it was
Tammy Abraham.
That guy there. Honourable mentions obviously have to be Messi.
Rafa Benitez as well. Yeah.
For
Newcastle.
Could you actually put a manager as in a goats for sports?
Bloody
yeah.
No.
Could you?
Oh, the Brazilian manager.
Who would you say the best manager ever?
That Brazilian.
That's such of all time.
Of all time.
That's such an
Alex
easy
Ferguson.
That's such an easy question. Inshallah, one day.
No, what do you mean?
We all just make dua. Can we just make
What
dua,
would you
please?
say, Alex Ferguson as well? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Bro, he just changed. Like he
Brian
changed
Clough.
the way.
No one has anyone done that. Like, how many seasons did you win?
20. No, he was there for 26 seasons. Won like 13 primes.
No, that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Clough.
Long day.
Brian Clough's still there. He's a shout. You wouldn't say that. What would you mean? Everyone says it.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Wait, what's this?
Brian Clough.
Brian
But
Clough.
he actually looked at me.
Yeah, and
What the fuck are you?
no, some people would say once Pep retires, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's done a lot. He's done at different leagues as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
But if we're doing honourable mentions, then like George St. Pierre in UFC as well. He's been
GSP,
amazing. Yeah.
but he's very boring though. Everyone says he's boring.
They'll say Ronaldo's boring as well. Like,
No, GSP's a big one.
Roger Federer, another goat.
Djokovic.
Yeah, I don't.
Djokovic or Federer?
Federer. What have we got? I'm not sure about. I don't know about statistics.
Statistics, Djokovic.
Uh,
right now,
check the statistics. No, I don't know about statistics.
Djokovic is
I would
ahead.
love to check it, but my friends are calling.
Djokovic is ahead
Yeah.
right now.
Okay,
Sure.
but I'll take Roger Federer because he's just
Tiger
like
Woods
crazy
as well.
stuff.
He's
Tiger
become
Woods,
a
I said
billionaire
that.
now,
Did
hasn't
you
he?
copy my answer?
Federer's become a billionaire now.
Yeah. There's 3 billionaires: Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather,
Jeff
Tiger
Bezos
Woods.
as well.
What?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan, Floyd Mayweather, and Tiger Woods.
I'm to say Federer.
Federer's not there yet.
He's not there yet. I thought he got it.
He's got so many like endorsements. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
get there.
I thought he got it.
No, he's not there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he was.
So it must have been like a projection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has he? I'd
Ronaldo's
always
not
think
there.
that he would have had it by now.
No, Ronaldo.
Because Ronaldo's been a lot. He's been at that peak for so long.
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's not even a billionaire, by the way.
That's so harsh.
She's
actually not.
worth $1 billion. My queen.
Huh?
Simp. What?
Okay.
So anyway,
Sophie,
yeah.
No, don't worry. We would have edited it there.
Okay.
Like we've already edited it. Like
I know.
in the edit. Like I edited it like 4 minutes ago.
All right.
Because it's going on a bit too long.
End
Yeah.
it before the horse.
yeah. Let it do all the horse.
Do you want to give an outro then?
Oh yeah.
What you need to do it out.
Oh yeah, I can just do it on this.
Do it there.
Oh, I should have done this at the start. Actually, you know what? I'll just do the intro. I'll just do it for you, because who the fuck's gonna watch to the end? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Well, yeah, and then you've already subscribed to your YouTube channel.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait 1 second. Sorry.
Oh, are you doing the intro now?
Yeah, just so I can link his
Okay,
channel in
yeah,
it.
okay.
The link will be in the description below.